and welcome to this special edition of Global Insights on China's Economy, a series of high-end interviews with movers and shakers, economists and industry watchers. I'm Tian Wei. Our guest today is Nobel laureate in economics. Together, we will explore how China's dynamic transformation from traditional manufacturing to cutting-edge innovation is opening doors to thriving emerging industries and a booming silver economy.
Sir Christopher Pissarides, a Regius Professor of Economics at the London School of Economics and the 2010 Nobel laureate in Economic Sciences for his development of search-matching theory, which is widely regarded as the best description of labor market friction. He's also a long-time China observer and has attended the China International Import-Export 4 times in a row. Now an international consultant at universities in China, he visits China regularly and has his own analysis of China's EV industry, including the obstacles it faces when going abroad.
China has been working on green-related sectors, including electronic vehicles, which has become such a big news story in the world.
I think we should embrace the new technologies and encourage more production in that direction, not try and stop trade and punish each other. My view about Europe is that Europe needs an industrial policy in light of the new technologies, new competition, which it doesn't have now. And the response to seeing all these Chinese vehicles, maybe there are indirect forms of subsidizing the production of EVs in China, but I would welcome that because that's the direction that we want to go. Productivity growth comes from innovations and help from government that reduces costs. So if another country manages to reduce its costs one way or another, then try and do it yourself.
Yeah. So get your industry strong, not by punishing others.
Yeah, you cannot get strong by punishing others. And I feel about that throughout, actually, not only with EVs. I mean, a global economy that works on similar kinds of rules will always be stronger than several smaller ones that are protected and do their own thing on their own.
China has suggested once and again that it's able to achieve the around 5% GDP growth. As an economist, a Nobel Prize winner, how do you see these aspirations and likely its implementations?
5% actually is feasible. I mean, I'm not saying that definitely they will do it, but it is feasible because of the low productivity state of the Chinese labor market. When Germany and Japan had the low productivity that China has now in relation to the United States, say, they grew at 8% for the next 15 years. 8% for China is not feasible because there are now other priorities and impediments to growth. Like, we need green growth, so there is greening, destroying all factories, polluting factories, going for new forms of energy. When Germany and Japan were growing, and I'm talking about 1960s and 1970s, they didn't have those factors, and there are many others. Those many others are estimated to take away something like 3% of the growth that the Germans and Japanese have. And therefore, instead of the 8% that we know historically that was taking place at these levels of productivity, well, we could get 5%. Now, of course, there are many other factors involved, but at least what we know from our economic studies and economic history is that 5% is feasible.
How do you see your research is related to the overall transformation the Chinese economy is going through?
I'm very much in favor of the openness of economies, that we should be open, trading with each other, exchanging ideas, collaborating in the development of science. So my main wish, if you like now, or what I would like to see countries doing, is actually getting activated quickly and put into practice those openness measures that have been announced.
translate words into actions.
The more difficult part is to translate the words that are in regulations and new law and new initiatives into actions that will see it on the ground. And of course, businesses are waiting to see what will be happening. Local governments need to take actions, the central government to see that through. I mean, I'm not saying they're not doing it, but when you see the state of openness now in the world, and unfortunately, it's going down, and it should really be reversed.
Disruptive technologies such as artificial intelligence are transforming businesses and society in today's world, driving innovation across industries such as healthcare while simultaneously enhancing efficiency and decision-making. China is advancing rapidly in AI research and application, positioning itself at the forefront of AI-driven economic growth and innovation. In Should Workers Fear AI?, Pissarides argues that AI's potential to replace human labor is often exaggerated. As a professor of economics at the London School of Economics, he emphasizes that while AI can enhance productivity, it cannot replicate the human touch of empathy and care, qualities that remain essential in the silver economy. China's aging population is fueling the rise of the silver economy. With over 296 million people aged 60 and above, the demand for services spanning healthcare, pension systems, and elderly care is skyrocketing. This demographic trend is shaping a vast market for senior-focused products and services, which is projected to grow to nearly 700 million by 2050, making up 52% of the total population, a massive yet untapped opportunity.
What is your assessment of the impact of the aging population on an economy such as large and different as China's?
Because we have better health standards overall, people live longer. A big section of the population is moving to older ages, and there aren't enough young people to support them through jobs.
So what is your solution?
If you improve the quality of jobs, it becomes a more pleasurable activity to go into work, and you help society and other people by doing that.
You've been doing research a lot in recent years about artificial intelligence, Professor, especially how it is related to the labor market. Yes. And what does that mean for the human resources and job market in the future?
There is no doubt that the AI is coming to labor markets. It's not quite there yet. It's still very limited, but it's increasing at a very fast rate. But that's only a small part of the labor market that is going to do that. The biggest part of the labor market will be concerned with person-to-person services. We have an aging population. They are going to need health and care. Health might move on to the world of AI a little, using AI to diagnose, but care will never move to AI. You know, care needs the love and care of a person to another person. There's no way machinery can give you that. Then we retire people, but also younger people, they need leisure activities. They need to go out. They need to go to the countryside and enjoy themselves. And that's the sense that I was talking about, the need to learn the traditional skills of good communication, good behavior towards other people, knowing how to offer a good service, person-to-person service. I'm glad to see many economists and education people doing research now in exactly what we need to do at school, because the school curricula were formed at a time when we needed different kinds of skills. They tend to specialize too much, whereas we need a more general knowledge at the school curriculum. The one training approach that would be essential would be big companies involved in these service sectors to provide their own training as well, and do it with the initiative of the worker. You know, do it within the company, on the intranet of the company, for example, so that once you acquire a general education at school, then you get trained at each company in the skills that they need. That would be better.